Testing, testing. Wait, I don't even need this. Okay. We'll see what we can do. Well, oh my gosh, I just had an idea. Yeah, yes. Let me do the speech bubbles. This seems like an easy thing to do. Uh, I'm sure I'll get nobody on Kick, but hey, haven't done this in a while. Haven't streamed on Kick for a while, so wouldn't be a bad idea to get with it. Hopefully, I'm just not gonna collapse. Goodness gracious, give me a second. Hopefully, I'm just not gonna collapse like last time. Dude, where's OBS? There it is. Just making sure everything's alright. Getting things set up just in case. Just in case a friend wants to join. I feel like I should probably start dual streaming on the Discord server. Just, well, if somebody wants to join. Oh, my volume's a bit too low. Let me change that. Come on, sound. Oh wait, wrong thing. Here we go. Just bump it up from 70 to 90. There we go. That should fix it. That usually fixes it. Had to mute the mic for inputting the password. Alright, cool. The usuals aren't online, so I should be fine. I should be fine. Okay, but that's settled out. This is settled out. Alright, time to get started. With the speech bubbles. The speech bubbles would have been like a lot higher on the list of priorities. But it's been a while. It's been too long since I've done something like this. Seriously. Alright. I think the speech bubbles need to be like 20. Because 8 is too... Give me a second. Or even is my phone? Oh, there it is. Okay, that was yesterday. Cool. Alright, let's get it started. Well, I guess you found her phone. Good. Awesome. Alright, let's get back to wherever we were. I gotta get back to listening to audiobooks. Honestly. Because I want to play a little bit more JRPGs. or just busy games like Harvest Moon, because those are the type of games that I've been pretty much been wanting to get into. And usually I listen to podcast. Well, I listen to other people's live streams when I'm playing games. So it's kind of funny how it is, isn't it? Okay, so all of these freaking text whatevers need to be on the same layer. It's being a headache. Golly, here we go. There we go. So let's see how long I'll do with this stream. Probably gonna do it for 30 minutes, 20 minutes, no activity. I'll call it a bust. Try again. Is it? What day is it? Tuesday. I'll try again Thursday. I know I wanted to be like, I gotta do it at least an hour. At least an hour. But then I'm like, you know what? Why? Why? Like, this kind of stuff is more usually just a way to farm. Like chat interactions. But the sad thing is, having the chat interactions have been very rare. Very rare. Gotta put myself more in the center. The chat interactions have been very rare. Okay. Man. I mean, for not very rare. There has been G4 that's been showing up on these types of streams. Or maybe I have to hit those elusive 8 hours of streaming. That number of 8 hours of streaming. And that's when things will really kick off, but nah. I think I'm in the moment of just show up. And if I can't make it to like an hour, then I can't make it to an hour. Oh well. You know? I think instead of for the entire conversation, I think I'm gonna do it when the actually, yeah, I got an idea. So the fill color will be black. Okay. The text color will be white. Like, this is one thing that I really like. I know what manga what it usually does. It shows like a little doodle of the person's head. But I don't have the energy to do something like that, so I'm just gonna use one style to communicate. I'll use different styles to communicate different characters talking. Like if Ali is talking, it's black speech bubbles, white text. So, and if Travis is talking, it'll be the traditional one. That way, it'll keep the flow going without the confusion of who's talking. Hmm. I think I'll do that. I don't think I'll do that for every panel, for every for every panel, for every page. Just when I want the audience to remember black speech bubbles is Ollie talking, white speech bubbles Travis talking. What's up, G4? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. I'm just thinking about the process out loud because I don't feel like drawing tiny heads of these characters. I did this for what was it? Book 2 of Purgatory Academy. And I've heard people saying that they liked that approach. So I'm like, all right. I don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. I've been streaming. I've been streaming the games pretty consistently. I was going to stream again. I was going to stream. Freaking forgot about the day, like a couple days ago. On Saturday. But something came up. When I mean something came up, I meant like I felt too drowsy to even like stream. So I had to call it quits pretty early. And then I took a nap. Don't know how that happened. What, you're going on vacation this summer? Yeah, this Friday. This Friday, yeah. Going to a family reunion in Milwaukee. I believe it's in Wisconsin. Are you going to not stream for a week or more? No, when I get back from stream, it's only going to be for a weekend thing. I'll be gone on Friday. I'll be gone on Friday. I'll be back on Monday ish. So I'll stream on Tuesday. I'll stream like the art stream. I'm just not going to stream for Saturday or Monday or Friday. Well, I might stream on Friday. Not. Yeah, I think I might stream on Friday. Stream early on Friday, but I think I'll still stream. I will say I'm not a big fan of traveling. But the thing that I like about traveling is pretty much being in a isolated area. In an area that I am forced to not move around. So I can just focus. I am forced to focus. Which is a pretty funny thing. Are your family reunion interests? Or it's a kind of meh. it's there. It's meh. I mean, like it's great for the older generations. It really feels like something for the older generations because I'm pretty separate. I feel pretty separated from family. And I think it's a product of being separate, being geographically separated from them. For most of my life. And now that I'm an adult, now that I'm an adult, there are some family members that I see, but my parents are like, everybody in my family is like, oh man, you gotta, it's your family, dog, it's your family, it's gotta be like they're, it's supposed to be a happy and great thing, but I'm like, I don't. That's cool, but I don't really know these people, unfortunately. Like we come from the same tree, which is interesting, but it's kind of it's very feels very separated. I feel very separated. I don't. Yeah, it feels pretty separated for me because since you have a atypical job hobby, they may ask you too much noisy questions or pressure you to take a regular job. No, not really. Even when I was younger, even younger, the in previous years at family reunions, um, even in previous family reunions, I tell them what I do, pretty candid, and everybody's been really. It's kind of surprising of how supportive everybody is to my general ideas, or what I'm trying to do. I think it mostly stems from once I show them a physical product, they're like, okay, that's cool. I ain't got nothing to say to you. Hope you get it done. Hope you get it. Hope you're worth it. And I think it's an amalgamation of a lot of things. I'm charismatic. I have a finished book. I honestly having a finished product and just showing it to people that just flips their idea on like it just like makes them switch up in a sense of okay instead of going like oh you're just doing woo woo talking on the internet it's not a real job to oh you have a physical thing you have a product you don't just and like when I talk to them they understand that I'm not just a guy that sits in the corner of his room thinking a lot. I'm also a producer. I'm able to have cohesive thoughts and I can hold up a conversation when it calls for it. I kind of get uh the I understand when I hear other people's doomer takes when it comes to talking with family because I saw a YouTube video of a guy who just quit his job. He said he's been working all his life, and the total amount of vacation days that he gave himself was like 5 weeks in total. And he said once he quit his job, his family called him up, and they were just the most demoralizing figures in his life, saying that he really isn't anything unless he has a job. And like the guy his video, he said he wasn't even anti-job or anything. He just didn't like where he was working, so he took a little break to find another job, and his family was just dogging on him to do it. And I really have to look back and just notice how fortunate I am that everybody that I am around, they are so what's the word? Supportive. Like everybody that I talk to about what I'm doing, they're so supportive. And I don't take that for granted. No, it really fuels me even more to realize to find out like how I can make something work. And it's one of those things where the higher the highs, the lower the lows. Because when I feel like I don't know where to go next, it just crushes me. You know what I mean? But everybody's pretty much different, right? Like you saw that video too, yeah. And it really just comes from different upbringings of what the family highly values because it I don't really want to speak on that guy or his family, but it kind of just feels like I feel like I should just delete this tiny Ali head because I don't feel like drawing tiny heads all the time. It feels like a waste of it, a waste of real estate. No, but as I was saying, I think it comes from like a society of everybody just working because that's the rhythm that they are given from generation to generation, and when someone breaks that rhythm, it's disturbing the peace. Where in my family, they are more like, especially from my dad's side, they are way more supportive about it. My parents, they are supportive. They do say like you need to get a job, even though it always comes like they always say you need to get a job, but it's still in a supportive aspect of you need to get a job so you can keep doing stuff like this, or you need to get a job because we're not going to be here forever. What are you going to do like when we're not here anymore? Or you need to get a job because of like health insurance reasons, like this, that, and the third. So it's like it's a very different. It's very different. Let's see. Okay, this is gonna be normal again. But on Sunday, I went out. I went vending again, and that was a very uh, heartening experience. The concept of not being here anymore scares me so much. Like one day, you just die, can't come back again. It's kind of funny how like it's really funny how parents they just drop that. I know like I have another friend. His parents told that to him, and I thought, is that just a black parent thing? Do black parents like to drop their deaths on like their kids to tell them to get to whip themselves into shape? so it's not like so it's not like, oh man, you should do it because you gotta in this economy you probably are going to have a harder time uh living without us as a support group. It's like, no, we're going to die. We're going to die. What are you gonna do about that, smart boy? I'm like, and like that kind of in that kind of rhetoric is like, well, I'm gonna die too. We're all gonna die one. And I'm like, you're right. We're all gonna die one day. I might die in my sleep. How about that? Like we want to throw around death so casually. How about that? The thought about that, huh? so like, it's like I like they want to take something that has like the weight of the world to say, hey, you need to be responsible, but the rhetoric is just it's so manipulative to me. To the point I'm like, no, it's not working. That's not how that's not how you're going to get me to care. Sorry. Like the day I realized I will die, I started doing things without regret. You know what? Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I mostly want to do thing. I'm not motivated by death usually. Motivated by the idea that I will die. I feel like if I don't think with any idea of, well, how would I put this? I think the opposite idea of if you live forever, you wouldn't even. If you live forever, would you stay at the same dead end job for like 500 years? I don't. I know a lot of people probably would because a lot of people are just following what they are told about what to do in life. But for me, I guess I'm just I've been rebellious at a very young age where if it's something that I don't like, I won't do it because the very early stages of my life, I was just told to do things. I just felt like I was made to do things because a higher up told me to, not because I wanted to. But when it finally came to the point in my life where I was the author of my own death, I felt like I'm the author of my own destiny or like what I want to do in my life. That's when I'm like, all right, I don't want to do this, so I won't. I place my hands in people who want me to do things for the betterment of my life, and I hated every step of it. And it got me to a place where I wasn't even proud of, or I wouldn't even think that I would like 4 years down the line, right? Like my parents pushing me through college or high school. That was me learning from I can't get what I want out of life just by listening to them. I feel like if I'm just playing mind games, I feel like I would probably live a better life if they allowed me to drop out of high school. Because the things that they wanted me to do, the things that they wanted me to, the things that I wanted to do when I was a 15, 14, 15, when I was like honestly like too young to drop out of high school, right? The things that I wanted to do is what my parents want me to do today, right? I wanted to get that job. I wanted to make my own money. I wanted to have a job. I wanted to do something that felt like more immediate than go to school to get a diploma, go to school that I don't really care about, to get a diploma that I don't really care about, to go to college that I don't really, to do like all these different things that I don't really care about. When I was young, I was like, I'd rather just get a job. And they're like, no, you got to finish school. And when I finished school, I'm like, all right, I trusted you, and I got literally nothing out of it. Literally nothing out of it. So my trust in y'all, it ran out. It ran up. You used up you used up all the trust points, unfortunately. You guys didn't trust in me, in getting a job. Now I feel like I'm very crippled. And like at this moment, in this point in my life, I feel really crippled right now because I'm like, man, should I go out to get a job? I'm like, well, no, because there's like a whole bunch of other things in my mind that I'd I would actively have to fight against to at least want to get a job, get another job, because I tried before. Crippled in one sense. Crippled in the sense of having that mentality of I can still do anything or still get what I want off. Uh, I guess in the most blunt way I can put it, crippled in the sense of I don't feel like I need it. I don't feel like I need a job. Or I don't feel like I need to follow my parents' wishes of getting one. Like if I did it sooner, if I did it sooner, then I probably would have on. I'll probably be on like my sixth job. Probably would have more money in the bank. Probably do a lot more things. But I also probably would have. I probably would have been like depressed, or dead, or whatever. I don't know, right? So dropping out of high school early would have changed things. I feel like it would. I feel like it honestly would. Because that would have exhibited trust. My parents would trust me with what to do. I would have to learn. Like my parents would have just would have to trust me on that. And the fact that they didn't trust me, that made all my trust be put on them. And when I went through the whole thing, like I was when I went through the whole thing, I didn't even finish college. And I don't even want to finish college, right? So instead of them working with me, it was more of me trusting them. And when I trusted them, it didn't work out. And now when I have to like do something, where in this point in my life, it's like, yeah, it would be a good idea to get a job. I'm like, I can't really do that because I built up years upon years of trusting myself that I can make this work. So to the point of if I get one, I wouldn't trust myself to have the energy to work on this and to get it and to do the job, right? Because the reason why I do this is because it's a multifaceted thing. I want to do the comics because I want it to be a source of income and it's fulfilling. And like you cannot in this day and age you cannot just make a book. You know what I mean? You can't just make a book, right? So getting a job now is like portraying yourself. It's not really portraying myself. It's more of I can't divide my energy. Because the whole point of this is I want to find a way to make this a financially viable thing. And if I want to make this a financially viable thing, I can't half-ass this. Because everybody who I talk to, they're unable like comics is their side thing and I talk to like so many different people of who have a job. They do their comics on the side, but if their comic doesn't work out, they're like, well, it's just a hobby. It's just like something that doesn't matter. It's just a thing that wastes time. But I don't feel like this is a waste of time. If I wanted to waste time, then I would just if I wanted to waste time and get money on the side, I would just get a job, dude. Because jobs are the quintessential waste of time. You're trading your time for money, and then you trade your money for for commodities, for amenities to just live. So you're just essentially, especially today, you're just paying to live. And I want this to be something that is beyond that. Right? And I cannot half-ass that. And I'm not mad at myself. I am not mad at myself, my younger self, for any of the decisions that I made. I'm not like, oh man, I wish you paid more attention in school. I wish you got more higher grades. Because I remember, when I remember when I was in high school. I think it was in sophomore year. My teacher went around the class asking, what would you tell your younger self? Knowing the things that you know now, what would you tell your younger self? And when it got to me, I remember I said I wouldn't tell myself anything because I know I wouldn't listen. Like that's how much I knew myself. That's how much I knew myself, especially when it came to anything that pertains to school. like when it comes to running this kind of business, if I had to go back in time and tell myself something, I would on most likely I would pay more attention to myself because I wish I had a mentor figure who like ran something like this or this specific thing at a level that I want to be. But since that's not there, it ha- it feels like it's to the point it feels like it never been there. You know what I mean? Like I would listen to myself a lot more. But if it came to like the thing about oh man, what classes you would go to, what friends you were gonna make, oh say X, Y, and Z, I'm like no, that's stupid. I don't even want to be here. I even tried looking up online to seeing like if there was a location I should move to make this dream a better reality. And what just showed up was like, nah, you can't, nah, really, just. I think a quick Google search just said, yeah, just make it online, gang. It's like it's just go online, make glow up online. That's where it is, and I'm like, darn. I guess I'm don't. I guess I'm stuck with square one of staying in this room. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. The time of offline is probably dead anyway. But I do want to go to more. I do want to table more conventions, but it sucks how tabling conventions is expensive, especially the bigger ones. Do you know anybody within or close to the American comic industry? Everybody within or close to the American comic industry, they are either making Kickstarters or they're either making Kickstarters or there are within the or like they are in like such a tight knit area of the industry where it's like you're either in it or you're not. Like that's the research that I've done. It's a lot like Hollywood where you can't really just say, "Hey," you just can't send in an inquiry or query or whatever they're called and say, "Hey, I'm freaking the guy. I'm the guy. Can you give me some uh, cool tips, cool what we call it?" And they're like, "Yeah, no, sorry. It's kind of rough out here for everybody." And I'm like, "Damn, that's crazy." And when you look at how things work, when you break down how things work, it's you can comprehend. It's not impossible. It's just it's simpler. There's like a lot more. There is a simple route to get to where you want to go. Where if you're trying to make it the independent route, you have to be a cult. You have to be a cult of personality. But if you want to be if you want to be within the industry route, you have to have somebody who is already in the know. Comic is the only entertainment medium where everything is doomed. Like animation and video games have their own successful indie unicorn. No, no. Like comparatively, sure. Comparatively, sure. But I'm not saying that there's. I remember I seeing like one art economist video that says like the whole indie stuff is like a all tides raise, like the high tides raises all boats, and he was talking about how people who make indie indie games they would hate Undertale because they feel like it would eat up some of their audience, but in reality, it's bringing more people into gaming who would be more likely to buy their stuff, right? in comics, it's kind of I can't really attest to that really. I haven't really seen a lot of stuff like that because when it comes to like the cultural stuff, I think like I'm not even paying that close attention to it. But the last thing that I saw was I wouldn't even say it was like a Kickstarter, but it was like the Eric July thing. But that was because he had a lot of friends within the right wing space to constantly hype up his stuff. He was also honestly like the only people that are making stuff within the indie space, indie comic space, are pretty much personalities, and it's very similar when it comes to the animation stuff too. Like Vivzipop being like the golden goose of indie animation in indie animations. Like, and I say indie with gigantic, the world's biggest asterisks, is because she was an internet personality. Same with the guys that made Smiling Friends. They've been in it for a while, but they were internet personalities. Where it's just the sign of the times right now, where you can't, if you want to like make something big. I mean, that also goes with the Corey Kenshin guy. Like the reason, I think the biggest reason why people don't really talk about the monsters we make is because Corey Kenshin wasn't. He's not really doing stuff. Like he's not really He's not really the comic creator type. As soon as I remember when I first saw the trailer, he just brought up his team, like at the team, his whole entire team, and I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? You're making a manga with like 5 people? Like, what are you doing here? Like having like a manga or like a comic manga type thing with like 5 people, like you better be pumping out chapters like every month. You're like pumping out like volumes like every month, right? That's what it feels like. That's like I can imagine if I had like 5 people working underneath me, we would be like cranking out chapters and like putting them online and trying to gain traction and trying to gain like the attention of distributors and like gain the attraction of distributors of like merch or multimedia, or like people want to break out into like different forms of media, multimedia, like, and put everything online. Not only to say, hey, here are the numbers of like the volumes that we were able to make, but like look at the numbers that we are able to gather. Look at these eyeballs looking at this free thing. I would probably do like the same thing with like the I'll try to follow the Amazing Digital Circus model, because all their episodes are free, and they just use that publicity to say buy the merch, or like to buy the merch. And I think, what was it, Bandai? Like I know they got like a Japanese like distributor like Bandai or a Capcom or something like that to like bring over a Japanese audience to the Amazing Digital Circus, and they were able to do a lot of more promotional stuff, like a Digital Circus Cafe out in Japan, and like all these different things, all these different cultural things to bring more awareness to the brand and the product, right? Like that's what I would do, right? I mean, he doesn't care. They just wanted to have a manga to out to copy their favorite Japanese manga. Yeah, and I'm like, that's why, and it really sucks. And Eric July is kind of in his own thing. He's in his own island. He's what has he been doing for a while? Because like when I see Eric July making his own company, making his own business with like several people under him, I'm like, the way that he wants to do, I can understand the business model, because if you even look at the era of comics that he wants to imitate, it had like a roster of people behind every book, because you have like the pencilist, the inker, the colorist, like the lettering, like all the like the writing, like that's like the main 5 things, right? Just to make such a more of a group effort. Manga is more like a single 1-2 person team, but when you want to make a Western comic book, like what Eric July wanted to copy. Yeah, it's like a 5-man team to make something like that, right? I never watched him, but he seems to be phasing out. Is he? Is he? I have not listened to I have not watched a single video of his. And I bought ISOM when it was like $5. Like, I bought it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't think there's anything that I want to take out of this personally, but it's it's a solid quality book. You know what I mean? I understood why he wanted to sell it for $30. That MSRP. You know what I mean? What is going on? What like what is he? Huh? His views are. Is this? Am I on the right thing? His views feel pretty low. Is he doing something else? I'm trying to think back. I'm like, was his viewership always like sub 10 for like half a mil subscribers? Sub 10 views. That's kind of crazy. What? Yeah, he's got lower views and is quite inactive since a year now. I see a video says I owe you an explanation. I feel like I should watch this. My thoughts on the Austin Metcalf murder. Dude, don't you make comics? Well, he is a political commentator. Sorry for the Air July jump scare. Give me a sec.
There was a short-lived boycott of a major comics publisher in DC. Apparently, there aren't enough ongoing series centered around black characters. And I wanted to chime in, not in defense, not attacking, but from the perspective of a publisher.
Okay, yeah, this is not the oh, it's the blackout you were talking about. Okay, I owe you the explanation. What is this all about? I think it's good to have like an audio only.
What's good, everybody? I hope
because it's just another talking head video.
You're doing well today. And some of you may or may not know, we just had was arguably our biggest announcement of all time here at the Rippaverse, in that we announced we have entered the sales and distribution agreement with Hachette Book Group, which is part of Hachette Livre, one of the top 3 biggest publishers in the world. Basically, what that means is exactly like it sounds. Our books will be sold and distributed through major retailers and wholesale buyers, and you're gonna see it at big box.
We don't see the screen. Do a react now. Okay. Oh my gosh. Fine. 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 All right. All right. All right. All right. You do. Dude, I was gonna set up like a different thing. Give me a second. Give me a second. I should set up these things a little bit better. There's a storm coming in, so the lighting's not going to be the best, unfortunately. Mason is now Aswin Gold. Yeah, I should set up. All right. Never. Let me see if I can get this going. Yo, I'm on. I just took a quick look at all my freaking thing on my on the freaking. Let's change this screen capture. Let's check the source. All right, let's check this out.
Retail stores and what have you, all of our books, and it applies to both Rippaverse as well as Rippersand. Did a video on Rippaverse's channels that you can go check out, going through the details and everything. That's not why I'm doing this video today.
Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to that caught my eye about this was that he did say that he was going through different more popular distribution labels so he can like put his stuff into like more major to major bookstores or like publisher like bookstores and like brick and mortars and stuff like that, which is like very interesting because it really feels like I just need to make a funny face for the YouTube. He just needs to make a funny face for the YouTube clip thumbnail. Nice. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing that came to my mind at first was since he's going to use major, what do they call it? Distributors. Is what he's talking about. Yeah, it just feels like he's just doing what the average the average Joe like me is doing while going. It's like me going to like Amazon, like what was it? Amazon did like direct publishing, where you get connected with Barnes and Nobles, and what was it? Ingram Spark or like other brick and mortar distributors. If it just puts your stuff on their systems. So that's the first thing that my mind connected to.
I just want to touch base with my audience and kind of let you guys in on what is has happened.
Like, can you even hear? I think the audio is fine. Yeah.
Happened here and what that more so means for myself. Now, you guys noticed over the last couple of years, I scaled back a lot on just general content creation, you know, going from basically doing all those videos and streaming every day, sometimes multiple times a day. Was also doing a lot of individual videos every single day. And
that's tiring.
I scaled back on that and I made a commitment to become a better professional for the sake of the customers, the fans, the business, and obviously my family. That's what they needed of me. And it was a growing kind of period for me. It was a lot of growth there. And in between that time, I also recently became obviously a father since creating the Rippaverse. There's a lot of...
Wait, yeah. He was right. He was you right now. It's like he was you right now. What do you mean? He was me right now. What do you mean by that?
in my life just changed, and for the better. And I needed to take this business seriously, and it was just unprofessional of me to do those streams and videos, especially talking about other businesses and what they're doing. Just didn't make any sense with me running my own. So I had to commit to being a much better professional, and a lot of blessings had come along the way. I met some awesome folks along.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. This is a thing that you really can't half-ass. Like, if you want to put your 1 foot in and 1 foot out of doing 1 foot in to do like the business side and like 1 foot out to do like other things, like you're going to like it's like what the Bible says, like you can't serve two masters.
The way, and I want to give a big shout out to a shared book group. They, you know, look, we've said no to
and also you need to. And also, I'm not against working with other. I'm not against working with other companies. Working with other creatives, I'm like, maybe. I'm like, yeah, it's a cool way to get your clout up, but the end goal is just to like work with a company for them to reach out to you, saying we can bring this to the table to make it easier for you to focus on like making the things that you you want to create, or focusing on your strong suit. Like it really goes back to another thing the our economist has said is like I keep this is like the third time I brought him up, but it's like the video about the indies versus a AAA, right? Like not everybody can be not everybody can be an indie creative, because when you are under the thumb of AAA, they have a lot of things, like business wise, like legal wise, like tax wise, already filtered out through you, and as a result, you will have to negotiate with them on how to make the best product for them to sell, because it is a product at the end of the day. They're not making any. They're not make. It's not like a YouTube. Well, even YouTube's not even a good analogy, because even YouTube has like its own like rules and guidelines. But it's not like a Wild West thing where they'll give you money to make whatever you want. They're going to let you create, but it's going to be within a strict. It's going to be like a strict thing, where they say, we want you to do this, but we want to make money at the end of the day. So you have to follow these general guidelines so we can feel comfortable investing in this project, right? Like, and have that what's the word? Juxtaposed to being completely indie, where you have to wear all these different hats at once, and you can barely do what you want to do, because you're too busy doing like the legals or content creation, or the legals or content creation, like what Eric July just said, and you have to like be connected with other people that are willing to wear those hats for you, so you can min max what is it you're really great at. So I don't want to be an A-logger and say, oh man, it's the downscaling of Ripperverse, because I know I can already feel that a lot of A-loggers, I don't know if he still has A-loggers, you know what I mean, ever since he stopped pushing as hard, but I can see that this change of direction would get people to say, oh man, it's the end, which it's so funny. It's always so funny to see those A-loggers for. It was so weird.
A lot.
It was so weird.
I say it all the time, how we've turned down as much money as we've made because a lot of that would have compromised our integrity. But with this one, we said yes to it, and it was obvious because they were all about making the Riververse continuing to be what made it what it is today. And just now we added this missing link, this channel that we never had, access to. Yeah, we sold to shops and everything, but this goes well beyond just like comic shops buying, and housing Ripperverse material. You're talking big box libraries, and it's worldwide. It opens us up to be having, I guess, 2.5 translations in other languages, and being able to put those in front of.
And honestly, when he says you can go to libraries or you can go to comic book shops, you can do that through I know with Ingram Spark and stuff like services like Ingram Spark and Amazon KDP. So maybe that specific publishing house will do a lot more pushing. What the heck? Who is this? Scam call? Not a fan. So maybe they'll make sure to give his stuff the push that it absolutely deserves, because I feel like maybe it's because the Ripperverse was trying to do everything independently that really capped itself, where it needed somebody who specializes in global distribution or a sense of distribution or advertising that is just their blind spot. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. I want to be at that moment where people are like, yeah, we can do this for you. We can do these blind spots for you. and then we're going to excel at your blind spot, so you can focus on what you can excel at. So this is a really good decision on his part. And I'm just sitting on the sideline. This is like a really good decision. Probably the best thing that he can do. Did you learn A-logger off 4chan or Christian? No. That's what they would call themselves. That's what they would call themselves, usually. Like, when Christian... Well, yeah, I think I first learned it from, like, a Christian documentary, that term. But when I listened to a lot of Eric July detractors, they would just say, yeah, I'm a Eric July A-logger. Which is like... It's such a weird demonic thing to label, to give yourself, you know what I mean? Like, this is just a guy trying to, like, trying to make his dream come true. And then you have, like, some people who wouldn't even try. Like, the only thing that they would try to do is to knock down another dude. Which is... I can never get down with that.
Of potential buyers, like it just means the absolute world to me, and I'm so very, very thankful of all of you guys that have helped support us along the way. But that required a lot of change from me, and I scale back on that content. I just want to really just say directly, it's not returning. That type of content and volume is not returning. The original content that I will be doing is original content, talking about the Rippaverse, doing videos and stuff, and running the business. That's what I will.
Honestly, it's good. It's really good that he's deciding to do this, really, because everybody knows he got his come up off of doing politics, off of talking about politics, and I don't think he would be where he is right now if he didn't have that foundation, that audience foundation of talking about politics. And I get where people said, like, you're just grifting off of politics to sell your own thing. I mean, people in politics are ruthless. Yeah. I know, like, I understand people, when he first tried to make his Rippaverse thing, everybody was saying he was grifting off of politics just to make his own little thing. Where it's like, I don't know anymore, dude. Like, unless you're trying to be an absolute philanthropist to donate money to an organization that you don't know what the outcomes is going to be like, you know, like, I'd rather like put my money, if I was an audience, like, if I was just the average Joe, I would rather put my money in the project of somebody that I like, other than if that person is saying generally, oh yeah, I'm making merch to raise money for quote unquote the cause, right? Because, like, the cause, and the cause is to fill up. I know there was like a YouTuber that I saw, like, I think their name's like Frojax or something like that, and they at the beginning of all their videos, they're saying, like, we're trying to raise up awareness for the white cause, and have conversations that you can't have on the internet, and they're like, if you want to donate money to us for the cause, send us money through our Ko-fi or whatever. They're like their donation pool, and we don't know where that donation pool goes to, you know what I mean? It just they have merch and they have a place that you can donate, but we don't really know where that money really goes to. Like, we don't know what cause it's like all going towards. It's just it's not like anything like Return to the Land. It's just my brother and I, and we're just talking to people about white identitarianism, and give us money, God bless, even though they don't believe in God. Like, that's the thing that I know. Like, if they want to make money just by talking to people on the internet, that's fine. Everybody does that. But the thing that autistically irks me about their videos is that they say God bless at the beginning of every video, and I'm like, dude, who's God? Like, what God are you talking about, dog? G4 says, I mean, Trump's grifting politics to get rich off of Bitcoin and betting markets is real estate in other countries. Yeah. 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 Yo, that Trump coin was so insane. Can you believe that they're gonna put that in history book? Well, they're probably going to admit that in history books. But the fact that Trump basically rug pulled his entire audience with that Trump coin thing, and he didn't get arrested. That is crazy. That is insane. And everybody was like, "Oh yeah, he just did that, I guess." The president of the United States rug pulled his audience. That's crazy. His investiture day also. He is so bold. Rug pulled on first day. Yep. It's so crazy.
Will be doing with my time, and I'm very appreciative of everybody that I met along the way, and all of you awesome folks that have been supportive of both myself and obviously the company. And I don't knock anybody who's like, well, I went to you because of your video game reviews, or I came to you for, you know, comic reviews and stuff like that, and I'm not necessarily interested in you doing your own thing. Totally understand that. I'm not knocking that at all. If that's how you found out about me and that's what you're interested in, I get that. And a lot of people, you know, there's other content creators that are out there doing some awesome things that's what they do. They create content they're not really into.
That kind of reminds me of a video that I saw talking about. It's not really this one artist, but it's pretty much a lot of artists on TikTok where they notice virality does not get them where they want to go when it comes to the recognition, because there was an instance where an artist, he blew up on TikTok because of this one clip of his song, but people didn't even know he made songs. And that's more common than you think, right? It's a very common thing where you gain an audience that's not really for you. This is a very interesting thing. You would think that they would be interested in you, but they're not interested in whatever you're doing. They're just interested in like whatever you're doing that is related to something like politics, or whatever they're doing that is related to something like video games or reviews or whatever. And sometimes when you get like a very dedicated audience, they'll just follow you no matter what you do. But I don't know how much of that audience, how much of an audience one would have that would only follow you for all the things that you're into or that you do. Which, like I said, it makes sense for him to move on from content creation, because he got in within this specific chapter in his life. He maxed out on the utility of being a content creator on YouTube, and now he's moving on to the next chapter of his life to focusing on making his whole Rippaverse idea the best thing that it can be, which is honestly what I would want to do.
Let's say like, you know, having our own comic book company, and that's okay.
It's great.
And there's awesome folks out there that are even you know, that obviously we're friendly with, that do great material if that's what you're in for. But my time needs to be dedicated to the Rippaverse and everything that we're doing as far as
I guess you can just do things.
And all the dreams that have come true for me, I want to make sure that we see them through, and I don't take this for granted. And so that is not happening again. I may do a video from time to time, like talking about what's going on. Like, you know, I'm an economics guy, and I like to talk about that. That's something that's a little more, let's say, neutral, in that I'm not necessarily talking about other people's businesses and how they're doing things. I'm talking about just like the general economy. Of course, I will do that. Still gonna be, you know, to jumping in people's streams and interviews from time to time. And
the first thing that he says when he the first thing that came to my mind when he said talking about other people's businesses, that reminds me of Ethan Van Sciver, and like how a lot of people just don't like him because he wants to do his own thing. He wants to like make his own Cyberfrog comic and whatnot. but he is also pretty much within. He lives off of drama, creating it. I don't know if he's like that now, but that was like years ago when I actually cared about the internet drama and stuff like that. But I remember that was like an issue that was super weird. Like this, like what was like 40-year-old guy that's so enticed with an internet drama, and he wants to be the leader of like the new Western comic movement to the point that he squashes anybody who wants to do their own thing. He feels like he has to be the center of the attention. But that's the narrative that I saw off of like this one YouTuber. So I might be wrong in that, but that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Now, obviously, I'm going to touch base with you guys. In fact, that's probably going to be the bulk of my content, especially like on my YouTube channel. Is going to be me popping in for a stream for like an hour to touch base with my audience on everything that's going on. And
that's awesome. That's what that's what I want to do.
And that's about it. And then everything else is Rippaverse. Everything else is Rippaverse and obviously my family. But if it's not pertaining to my family, it's about the company and making sure that's ran efficiently. Because now we've kind of entered the big leagues, especially, and I have to see it through. I absolutely have to see it through. It's just life changing, guys. And like I said, I'm very appreciative of you guys. So look, everybody that has supported us since ISOM #1. That book has sold over 100,000 books to date. And everybody that got in, wherever they got in, some of you didn't get in at ISOM #1. It was a little later. I'm still appreciative of you guys. And obviously we want to welcome everybody that's new, that is now going to be able to have access to our books. I appreciate you guys so much because like you have made our dreams come true. And as I mentioned in that video, nothing changes as far as like our content. I'm still the sole owner. We're still doing the direct to consumer approach. That channel is still going to be there. It's just now we have another, we'll say wing there. And it does not require us to compromise. That's the important thing. And that's what they cared about. It does not compromise what we are already doing. And that's what it's about. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Just hope that all of you are understanding kind of the direction and things. Look, this, I know I sat on this for a very long time. There was a lot of things that we were doing to get prepared for this. And now you guys can see that, look, my vision and my end game was maybe totally different from what a lot of people may have expected. This was not some just one-off project and like ISOM that I just wanted to do and then just keep content, like do a comic on the side while content creation. No, I wanted to be a publisher. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to create my own stuff and do what I thought made sense for the business. Having that forward thinking or being forward thinking and looking at like where the industry is going and making those adjustments. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see this through and we've done it. I don't think the work's done, but I am in a position that I know, and it's crazy that it's only been 4 years, that not even yet. But I know I'm in a position that's just, I'm blessed. And that requires more work of me than I ever have had. So,
yeah, so that's pretty much it. All right, let me go back to where I was. Wow. Oh, wait, how long ago was this? Like, 1 month ago. Interesting. Now let's see. Wait. Let me go properties, open selector, going back to Clip Studio. There we go. Yeah, it's very cool. There is I got burned off of the, what was it? I just burned out off of the internet drama. I'm desensitized now. Yeah, that's like, internet drama is so stupid. It's the biggest waste of time, ever. You want to know why it's the biggest waste of time? Because people will just end up forgetting. Or they not just forget about like the drama, but it doesn't, like, reputation doesn't really mean as much as it did anymore, because there's so many people on the internet, to the point where the internet doesn't feel like an end-all be-all place anymore. it feels like the internet doesn't feel like an end all be all place anymore, or something that you can do thing, or something that you can expand your mind freely. I think I heard this from the creators of Smiling Friends on a podcast where they say that they really felt like working on Smiling Friends was infinitely more profitable and way more freeing than creating content on the internet. Because they said like the guidelines for Adult Swim was way more lenient than any guidelines that YouTube than on YouTube. And it really and like seeing people going to like publishing houses and like all this stuff and like we're in what was it, 10 years ago? Wait. 10 years ago would be like 2013. Yeah, 10 years ago would have been like the prime blog era where everybody felt like, well, no. Like 10, 15 years ago would have been like 2013, 2010, 2013 would have been like, well, 2008 to 2013 would be like the blog era where if you wanted to do something, you would have just had a blog. You would have just, and people would find you, and that's where you would really come up as a cult of personality. And then with that, you could have just done the whole world as your oyster. Now it's just like kind of reverted back to going to these the establishment. Even though the establishment is like still kind of weird and inclusive, but there are more alternatives that are willing to help you out, or there are different ways that'll help you get something to establishment like outcomes to ensure that you can do the best that you can. But it is what it is. G-Forces, like what internet drama from 2013 matters now, almost 3 years later? That's a good example. I'm like, no, what drama like, dude, what drama like from the beginning of the year matters now? I remember, like, every time I go on Twitter, I would see something like, oh man, this Vivzy Pop drama. Oh man, the Spindle Horse drama. Oh man, these freaking drama of these big creators, and it all literally goes away as soon as you log off. Like any drama that I would see someone like Vivzy Pop would have, I go on Twitter and she has like a feature film in the she has a feature film waiting in the wings with Warner Brothers. Like, who cares? Who cares? No, like, none of this matters. But, like, going back to the Eric July thing, like, yeah, the internet is just the place where you're here to be a cult of personality, to prove that people like you, and then you get brought onto these publishers that could expand the distribution like a lot more than handle distribution and the legal work a lot, so you can focus more on what you can do. Yeah, and you do have your golden gooses, but not everybody can be a golden goose. You don't live life expecting to be a golden goose. But that's just the way the world works. That's just how it rolls. Now let's see. Yeah, all of this needs to be on a higher plane, it feels like. I'll make a folder for the speech bubbles. Specifically on the right side. For the right side. Yeah, this is looking good. Can I reach? Yeah, I think I can. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah, but big ups. Like that's what he wants to do. That's something that I'm like, dude, that is the dream. Like who literally wants to be on the internet forever? That is hell. I can't imagine a single sane person who wants to be on the internet forever. Sonic turned 35 years old yesterday. Happy birthday, Sonic. No new game. You get your kart racer. No new game. Like, sorry. And your biggest fans are Westerners, which is pretty cool because there's no bigger fans of Sonic than the Americans and the Europeans. Mostly the Americans. Now let's see. No motion in Japan. I remember seeing a video when it came to Sonic Frontiers. The person went on the street asking people, do they recognize Sonic the Hedgehog? And they're like, who? Like, it makes sense, because Sonic the Hedgehog was made for a Western audience. It was made with American sensibilities in mind. And they did it so well to the point that Americans were like, yo, this is us. This is this is really cool. This is us. For real. But the Japanese audience were like, yeah, this is cool, I guess. But maybe that changed after Sonic Frontiers. I mean, but the fact that Sonic has a place in a Sonic has a place in the hearts and minds of people who aren't Japanese, in majority into the hearts and minds of people who aren't Japanese. That is a pretty nice little thought. It really makes me wonder if like any of my stories blew up that's not in America, who would, if it had a global distribution, what other country would resonate with the themes of my stories the most outside of America? That is the thing that I wonder sometimes. And like why they resonate with it. Probably Europe. I don't know. Like, I mean, like, that's kind of like a no-brainer because like outside of Europe, outside of the broad West, because I kind of don't really count like Canada, Australia, Europe, like anything that doesn't speak predominantly English. You know what I mean? Like if it's like big in Europe or big in like Australia or New Zealand, I'm like, okay, or Canada, I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but we all speak English. We all share a general similar, like a general common ancestor when it comes to culture and beliefs. So if it's outside of America, then I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But when it's like when it's like in a culture that does not speak English, then that's something that is more interesting to me. And also, being an American, like I run across people from, like that's not even from my state, but sometimes people that are that are not even from America, which is when I talk to them, I want to get their backstory and get their what's interesting with them, and it makes me wonder like what, like if I would have a story or if something that my ideas would resonate with people from different like I think having a different language is pretty interesting, very paramount because languages formulate how the way that one thinks. You know what I mean? And if I can make something that transcends the language barrier, that's something that's very interesting to me. Okay. Hey, adding all these speech bubbles makes this a little bit more. Makes it a little bit more interesting. Should I have it on that one? I probably shouldn't have deleted. Okay, cool. Awesome, that's awesome. I mean, since you speak English, it's easy to learn Spanish and French. Yeah, probably. I think it would be really cool if I get to a certain point where I can just hire people to translate it, or people would just make fan translations of the work to gain a bigger audience. I I really absolutely love fan translations because that is an absolute labor of love, and that is like a labor of love and a a general want, a general need of propagation of a certain story to a different culture. And I'm like, that is something that I want to strive for. Yeah, it makes more sense for the come on to be like over here. Yeah, someone in the world thinking I need to share this story to my people. Like, yeah, that's insane. Like, I don't like you see that a lot in manga. You know what I mean? In like Japanese, especially like when it came to like when it comes to like manga or just anime. Sometimes in literature, I feel like I do remember the idea of Metro, the video game Metro. It was inspired by a web novel, which which was later the creative person who made the web novel, they printed it, but it was like it was one of those things where he just did it because he could, but somebody found it in a thrift store and they're like, "Yo, we can make something out of it." Like I haven't heard that story in forever of what inspired Metro, but I do remember that it was originally a web novel that was originally in Russian, but somebody found it and just translated it into English. Or maybe it was vice versa. I don't know. I don't remember. But stuff like that, that's really cool. Like but I just gotta get it out there. Just gotta get it out there. Gotta increase the sauce. You know what I mean? You gotta have the sauce. I did have a instances of trying to translate it, but you can't really force something like that. You can't force your own stuff to be translated when there's not a need for it. And that's like you gotta have your priorities set. You can't have what's you can't have the byproducts be your goals. You know what I mean? You have to realize you have to really sit down and think to yourself like what is the difference between a byproduct of my efforts and the goal of my efforts, the goal of what I'm trying to do. It kind of goes back to the conversation of everybody wanting to have their own animation of their comics, and the want of having an animation of their comic is more of a byproduct of it being good to warrant an animated adaptation instead of it being a cultural like a cultural juggernaut or a cultural touchstone. I think that's like when people write stories, if they're not aiming to be a cultural touchstone, then they're not really they're just wasting time. You know what I mean? Wait, how long have you started this comic journey? Is it 2020? Yeah, let's 20 like around 2020, really early 2020s, probably like 2021. Yeah, let's say you're 2021. I gotta look at the like I don't really have a calendar for this stuff. I honestly probably documented it better in my Purgatory Academy books, because I remember I had like drawings of Travis way back in 2017, but that was like way before I've written the transcript or something like that. It was probably like 29, like I think I written the transcript of Purgatory Academy in like 2019. I dedicated a year of like making the first book and like finishing like 2020. Yeah, 2020. And I know it took 2 years to make book 2 of Purgatory Academy. Will you celebrate your decade into 3031? No. Not really. No, not really. Like, it's, for me, it's like, hey, I've been doing this thing for a decade, and I'm like, dog, it'd be great. It'd be great if I was able to, like, hit the goals that I want to hit, within, like, 4 years. But it's like right now I've been doing the exact same things for like freaking 6 years or so, and I feel like I'm in the same place. I just feel like I've been at the same place for a while, for a long time. So to celebrate like 10 years, and if I'm in the same place if I'm in the same place and I'm celebrating 10 years, then I'll be like, there's nothing to celebrate. There'll be nothing to celebrate other than I'm just not dead. Is that grounds for celebration? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I guess. Like, yeah, I made books, but like they were made. Like after you make a couple books, then it's like the magic is like, well, cool. Can I do something with it? No, it's just sitting up on a shelf, and the people who are buying it are people who aren't really like reading it. And when you try to make something out of it, like people usually just put you to the side. They don't really want to propagate you or the message. They just say good luck. 10 years of just being told good luck. and then you're trying again, and then you wait. Like that doesn't feel like something worth celebrating. Existing doesn't like in like some weird woo woo way. Like, oh man, you existed for 10 years. I'm like, I didn't do anything. 10 years, that's a lot. Yeah, the only reason why it's impressive because people would have just given up. Right? And I'm like, yeah, a lot of like normal people would just give up. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but maybe I'm just insane. How about that? Maybe I'm just a maladjusted human being. Until it until this works, until this works, I'm not really celebrating anything. I'm glad that I'm alive. I'm glad I'm able to do this. I'm glad to be able to talk to people. But it really kind of it goes back to I remember I was like watching like like a Nick Fuentes show, America First, and I remember had this one monologue that was like a lot of the time he said a lot of the times, even though he makes a lot of money, he just doesn't want to do the show. There are some days where he just doesn't want to do this, like not some days, like the idea of him not doing the show just creeps up more and more in his mind, and just saying that life, like just doing it, is not worth it anymore, because even he's blackpilled about like the idea or the state of the of America, and he said like the thing that keeps him going is him getting super chats of people saying that they converted to Catholicism or just Christianity in general because of him, and he says that's the only thing that keeps him going. And I'm like, that's the most understandable thing. That is very understandable. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's my version of that, right? I mean, if someone said like I converted to Christianity because of Purgatory Academy, I'm like, that's really cool. I don't know how I would feel. I feel like that would be very good. Well, accomplishment would feel like really good. That would feel like, yes, I've done something really good I made like an actual positive impact in someone's life. If someone sent me like a letter of that, you know what I mean? Like 4 years, but like in 4 years, and I'm still doing the exact same thing with like, and I'm still just not like have my financials in order. I'm still a single guy. I'm still just freaking stuck in I like the like year 10 looking identical to year 1. I'm like, what is there to celebrate about? I would have given up 4 years, and if I didn't have a minimum of success, at least earning $6 a month. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much like that kind of goes back to what I said earlier of I feel uh like I've locked myself in for better or for worse. So if I just like cave in to societal demands of just getting a 9 to 5, I'd be like, all right, my money situation's pretty much figured out. I don't really need to do this comic stuff because I've gathered enough information on like the entertainment industry where it just makes sense not to try at all. It makes so much sense to not try at all. Especially when you see just people just make it out of just being straight doofuses and not even trying and just making memes of themselves in the art form and like literally everything. And the world gives them everything, right? Yeah, so I'm like, I'm either going full on in this, or I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll just be a slave. I don't. I guess it doesn't matter. I'll be a slave. I'll just have all this knowledge, but I'll just wait to die. At that point, I'm like, why would I even want kids? At that point, I'd be like, yeah, why would I even want kids? You know what I mean? Being fruitful and multiply, like really, it's really great. But I don't. If I can't even make something work for myself, why would I have like hope for the future of my children? And if I can't even live to support myself, why can't I be have that? Why can't I look at my kids dead in the eye and being like, yeah, you're gonna be fine. Especially when I don't even have a network of that stuff. Maybe if I was Mexican and I had like a strong like network of people, I probably would have had I probably would have already had a wife and like my third kid. If I was Mexican or if I was Mormon, if I had like an actual network of people around me. Right? I'm just locked out to the point where I just have to do this. I just literally have to do this. It's not a want anymore. And it's a thing where my parents are like, I can't really explain that to my parents because they're gonna be like, you're just being dramatic. Like, no, not really. No. No, I just the curse of information is real. The curse of like there is a curse to knowledge. There absolutely is a curse to knowledge. And being like just isolated from people in general. Like at this stage, what is the point? Yeah, I know. I already read that. Like, yeah, it feels good. Like, no, don't get me wrong. It feels good when I go outside and sell my books to people. But like, if I do that for 10 years, like like vending does not make money. Like, it's not. Do you expect your current situation to change in 1 year from now or 2027? Me, I am in my final year of college, so I'll start working on getting a master's. I don't expect anything anymore. I've been expecting things to change for about an X amount of years, for the ever since I started doing this, and I've just been disappointed every step of the way. Who knows? The platitude people say is like around year 7, that's when everything changes. Keep doing what you're doing because all you're doing is just building up to the point where you're ready when everything happens. It's like a drip. Well, people say it's like a drip feed of you're gonna get years of nothing until everything happens all at once. I mean, I hope that's true. I hope it is. Like every time I see some no talent hack get a what they wanted, their needs tended to by the internet, I'm like, there's probably hope for me. If people eat up just utter satanic garbage, then there's probably hope for me. Hey Lamai, what's going on? I mean, in your case, you can see the statistics, so you have quantitative grasp of improvement. Yeah, there's improvement, but where's the end goal? Because I can post shorts, like, days upon days and see the line up, like, infinitely go up. And I've been doing that for a while. I've been trying to do YouTube for years, and I'm still not monetized, right? Even though I see the line goes up, it's like, after a certain day, it's like you have to understand when something isn't working anymore, right? Something can't go up forever. It blows. Really blows. Yeah, I think I'll just put this down here. Like, I really hate to sound like a doomer. I'm getting ready for art fight. Oh, yeah, cool. I really hate to sound like a doomer, but, like, it kind of goes back to, like, why I resonate with a lot of doomer content. Because when you're an entrepreneur, like, the thing about being an entrepreneur is, like, understanding that you will fail in a lot of things. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. Oh, no, what happened? Please don't tell me it froze. Great. Awesome. Oh, yeah, cool. Cool. Alright, cool. It was auto-saving. That's great. I thought it crashed. Uh-oh. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, I get what you mean by like when you have statistic. Wait, I don't need this. I don't need these headphones anymore. I hate wearing headphones, especially in the summer. It's itchy as heck. I was watching a guy named Sean James. Coffee used to make fun of this guy because he's been making indie comics videos since his late 20s, and now he's 40. Honestly, that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. Like, no matter, I think nothing that I hear what Coffee does, it will not surprise me. Because he is a pretty much bitter man. He's a pretty bitter guy. And I'm like, if Coffee was able to make it, then maybe I can make it, right? But his means are very different than mine. Also, like the checking people's age, it's, I don't know if I'm getting real, if I'm gonna get demonetized off of this, but it's like checking someone's age off of like doing. Wait, Sean James, do I know that guy? Do I know that guy? Am I familiar? Sean James made a 5-hour video on me. What the heck? What the heck? What in the world? What in the world? I looked up Sean James comic and I thought I saw a Coffee video, but there's another cat being an A-logger saying, I understand why Sean S. James can't get a comic sales or a job or a girlfriend. Sean S. James made a 5-hour video about me. This is my response. That's crazy. Honestly, I shouldn't. Actually, I shouldn't say. I shouldn't speak on nothing, because I'm just an outsider looking in. I'm just. I am. I just. It's like, I feel like that Donald Glover gif. That's Neil Allen. Yeah, really. Yeah, I feel like that Donald Glover gif of just like walking in the room and like and everything is on fire. That's how I feel. I'm like, what is going? Who's this guy? Like, why is there beef? Like, why is everything on fire? I just got in with pizza. So I'm just saying that title is like heavy A-logger energy. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, chill. Actually, I think I'll take back what I said about Coffee being a bitter. Well, he's still a bitter guy, but like, if like I don't know who Sean James is, so I'm not picking sides. I'm not picking sides here. I just got here. This is interesting. This is weird. This is interesting. My gosh. Sean James is in his 50s, and he had a heart attack. Neil Allen recently had a back and forth with Sean James. Oh, damn, really? Yeah, that's Neil Allen. Who the heck is Neil Allen? Oh, so he has his own. Huh? Oh, I see that he has his own comic that he's doing. Good for him. What is going on? Okay. I'm just looking at the thumbnail. I'm looking at the thumbnails, and the thumbnails are really telling a story. The For You thumbnails are telling a story. The thumbnails are telling a story. I'm slowly piecing everything together now. Everything's making sense. Alan says he's not making any more videos on him because he doesn't want to be held responsible if Sean breaks down. These people literally have their own beef cinematic universe. Where's my beef cinematic universe? Be careful what you wish for. But yeah. Okay. Seems like it's a very race conscious critiques. Like, it feels like Sean James showed up, made some race conscious critiques. I'm seeing a lot of racial stuff, and I'm like, all right, I think it's time for me to check out. It's time for me to check out. Y'all have fun. Y'all ain't about like literally anything right now. Like this conversation's not really about anything. It feels like the debate was over whether or not black comics can sell. Sean says no. Neil says Sean's comics just sucks. Oh, at least people care a little bit about Sean James to make videos about him. I mean, it's like it sounds like he's being a sounds like Sean James is a lolcow at that point. You know what I mean? Sean also Sean James saying black comics don't sell. Yeah, maybe my thing is maybe my experience is anecdotal, but I have like what 3 comics where like where a black character is predominantly in the cover. You know what I mean? And black and white audience, they buy them. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm just nice. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm that nice. Maybe I am like the what they call it? Maybe I'm the outlier. I think the only comic that I have that does not have a predominantly black character in the cover is Chimera Island, and that one's just about like mostly animal people. You know what I mean? Dude, the comic unicorn. Yeah, I'm the comic unicorn. I'm like the race comic unicorn, I guess. Dude, like it's really crazy. It's really crazy how much white people will just pick up Just a Reaper and they're like, "Yes, I want to buy this." When it's like two black guys predominantly in the cover and like half a white guy clinging on to like the protagonist's scythe. You know what I mean? And like the black people don't even look cool. They are the corniest looking, the most corny, average looking, the most unimpressive looking black people you can ever design. Like the most basic. They look like background characters, right? Mostly because I love designing characters that look like background characters. I like designing characters that just look like everyman. So my character designs aren't really that interesting, right? And I will be the first person to say that. But I show them like Just a Reaper. I tell them what it's about and what is put into like making the comic, and they're like, "Yeah, I'll buy this. How much is this? $40? I'll pay it. $20? I'll pay it." Like it's, dude. I remember there was like the guy behind Godhood Comics. Matt. He sent him like Matt like wanted to have a conversation with the Godhood Comics guy to see like how can we get our, I think it was like more of like advice. So Matt was asking like that guy for advice, and he just said that we were just awful. He said that we don't have quality. Our work isn't quality. He doesn't explain why our work isn't quality. He just says that in order to make our work to have that era of quality, is to have big names behind the work. Basically telling us to learn anatomy, learn color theory, learn like all these different. I'm trying to say like all these different things. I'm probably writing for him. I use the term writing for him. I feel like I'm trying to steel man his case, because when he was telling me this, he just said quality. He just said like your stuff isn't quality. It was like harsh criticism that we really couldn't work with. And I remember I was heated, not because he said my stuff was trash, but it was because I knew what he was talking about. Like, it's like one of those things where if you know something inside and out, you can understand what someone's trying to say even though they don't have the words to explain it. And when he was telling us why our stuff wasn't good, I just picked up on like he just didn't know what he was just being a hater. He really didn't know what he was talking about. And I know like the word hater gets thrown out like left, right, and center, but the fact that I'm trying to steel man his argument of saying that we don't have big names for advertising, we don't have a style that will appeal to the American audience. We don't have we don't have the style to appeal to the American audience, and the story itself isn't strong enough for people to connect to. That's me steel manning his argument, right? But I could not pay attention to, like, I'm like, no, you're absolutely bold-faced wrong about X, Y, and Z, because we actually went out and sold our books to people for like half $100, damn near half $100 for how many pages is it? Trying to remember off the bat. I think it was like around like 444 pages, maybe. I don't even need to guess. Give me a sec. Wrong one. Pulling out the thumbnails. The thumbnail sketchbook. Da 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 da. No, this is Just a Reaper. No, not Just a Reaper. That's Metal Hero. Purgatory Academy, Chimera Island. Is it further back? Okay, no, this is not it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, let's just say for the sake of argument, it was like 144 just off the bat. I don't have the direct numbers behind. Dude, I'm looking at these like Purgatory Academy thumbnails for Chapter 5, and I'm like, dude, what was it, 5? Yeah, for Chapter 5, and I'm like, dude, I gotta get back. I gotta get back to like working on this thing because I want to like work. I really, really, really want to work on these chapters. Now that I'm looking at the thumbnails again. I would recommend pitching your book to Top Shelf if it was a thing. What's Top Shelf? Honestly, I'm not really pitching to anybody. Like, they just really have to come to me. Like, if they're coming to me, that's when I know I'm ready. But, like, honestly, just pitching to, like, people left and right, it's like, I don't know, man. Or maybe, I know Matt with a lot of T's. Let me check out Matt with a lot of T. There was a woman. There was a video that I saw that was, like, a woman who made a comic book, and it took her like around a decade to get it published, or to have to find like a publishing house to publish it for her. And after that publishing house like got a hold of it, it sold gangbusters. But while that was happening, she was just working odd jobs, trying to survive, and in the meantime working on the comic and then trying to sell it, not and trying to pitch it to different publishing houses. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah. That video of how this 55-year-old's first comic made $5 million. That was it. It was My Favorite Thing is Monsters. That was it. That was the book. By Emil Ferris. But yeah, that is like another lightning in a bottle type situation. Now let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, so I was trying to figure out who was talking here. I think it was Ollie. Ollie was talking here. So I'll make this speech bubble black. How much does hosting your website cost you per year? Well, per month it's like $12, I think. Like having a website on PayHip, it's just absolutely free. Like that's it. Like I pay for the what's it called? The domain. Let me check. What's this? Oh. June. Yeah, it's June. Check May. Wait. Wait a second. A long time ago, I've seen a post you've made on Imaginary Character subreddit. That's how I found out about your comic coming early, and I've been wondering if it's canceled because I have intentions of buying it when it is a concluded story. If I prefer buying comics all in one go. If there's not been any updates or progress to my knowledge, so I don't know if I should keep checking over here. Having that as I've been enjoying coming around chat, I did not see this. I gotta hit this guy back. I gotta hit that guy back. You know what? Yeah, I'm making it. I'm gonna. I was debating on. Yeah. I gotta hit that guy back. You know what? Just because of him, I'm gonna make the comic. I'm gonna make the comics free to read on my website again, just because of this guy. All it takes is one email. All it takes. Why? Literally, that's how all it takes is one email. All it takes is somebody to take time out of their day being like, I really like your stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do it for you. Actually, I should really not archive it, but yeah, I'll start it. I'll get back to that after this stream. Also, people aren't buying. People are just not buying the comics. That's just it. I'm like, hey, bring it up. Like, people are just not buying the comics. My online bookkeeping is there. Yeah. I hate this. There's way too many garbage. Google Ads. It should not take this long. Yeah, it's around like $20. No, it's not Square. I thought it was Squarespace. Oh well. I'm annoyed. I am annoyed. Top Shelf Production is a graphic novel publisher. I met the guy who runs it. He's a cool guy. Like, what does the publisher really? Does the publisher have to offer for me that I can't really do by myself? That I can't already do by myself, or give me a reason. Okay. Like, I think I found. Yeah, I see it. Top Shelf Comics with an X. Why are you annoyed? Because I can't find the email. I can't find the email that says the monthly payment for the domain. Oh wait, never mind. Found it. $15. I just had to type in. I just had to type in domain. I'm an idiot. You don't have to use a publisher. Yeah. I'm like, why can't I find out how much I pay for the domain? I'm like, oh wait, let me just type in domain. Like, duh. Doy. Then I found it. It was $15. Yeah, so it's $15 a month. The $25 I pay a month is for my digital bookkeeping. It's not the best, but it's better than nothing. It's not the best, but it's better than nothing. Have you ever worked on a survival game story? No, I have not. Why you ask? I'm not too familiar with the survival genre. Or why people would make it. There are some genres that I'm like, I get it from the get-go that makes me want to try it out. But a lot of the times with the survival genre, I think it's fun. But it's not really something that I'm like, oh man, I gotta try this out. To write my own story for it, you know what I mean? Because those types of story require a different type of thinking pattern. Yeah. Like, I wanted to do mystery. Like a genre that I want to probably get into is mystery. But I don't really have a reason. Like, from where I'm standing right now, I don't have a strong reason to do that. Unfortunately. Dude, I would absolutely love to be contacted by someone like what was it, Capcom that did a deal with Amazing Digital Circus? think a friend talked to me about it. The primary Japanese company responsible for Amazing Digital Circus's localization and merchandising is Japan is InfoLens. That's what it is. InfoLens. All right. Huh. They don't have an impressive website, but they got like they work with Minecraft, Apex Legends, Overwatch, My Arcade, Cyberpunk, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six, Rocket League, Hearthstone, Borderlands 3, Doom, Fallout, Ghost, PUBG, Fortnite. Yeah. Hey, those are the type of people I want to link up with. Now let's see. The biggest hit underneath, the biggest hit underneath the belt, Surrogates starring Bruce Willis, also Blankets. Okay. Wait, what Lamai? What do you mean by that? Can you speak on experience on Webtoons? Did you try the Canvas program? The Canvas program is basically, to put in like coffee terms, yeah, it's pretty much a dungeon. They just want to. I don't like it solely for the fact that the only thing that they offer you as a creative is a platform that's pretty much like a very less sophisticated YouTube. They say that you'll gain an audience from there, but it's not really your audience. It's just it's Webtoon's audience, and Webtoon doesn't want their audience leaving their ecosystem. So, if you manage to be like like if you manage to be a hit on Webtoons, yeah, maybe, just maybe, if you make gangbusters or like crazy amounts of if you make crazy amounts of views on your Webtoons, maybe you'll have a representative reach out to you and saying, hey, you want to get paid a little bit more. Because if you have like thousands and thousands of views on your Webtoons, and you become like somewhat of a partner with them, you'll get like pennies, which you'll probably get more if you just put it up on your own website. You know what I mean? Which you're not gonna. Which honestly, your efforts would be a lot better if you try to find a way to get more people to go on your own website than just to leech off a Webtoons audience that probably won't really care if you don't upload anymore, because you're just in a sea of other stuff. Because I don't think I have anybody on Webtoons to follow. I think out of everybody, there was just one person that followed me from Webtoons when I had like 1,500 subscribers on Purgatory Academy. Only one person just decided to follow my Instagram, and yeah, it's not really worth it. I don't think it's worth it. And like, if you want to get paid, it really is one of those things where you have to like wait for a representative to reach out to you and see if you want to work with them for them to like pay you up front to make content. But right now, since they're doing like a deal, I don't know how often they're doing that anymore. Since they're making deals with DC, for them to make webtoons for them. So I'm like, yeah, well, what even is it? Did you try Global Comics? Yes, I have tried Global Comics. It's just not. If anything, Global Comics is a good idea for if you don't have your own website and you want something that is, I think they're web friendly. I think their interface is web friendly enough to like show people. But the thing is, like most people don't know what Global Comics is. Well, most people won't even know what a webtoon is. Well, a lot unless they are into it, unless they're into webcomics, they know what a webtoon is. But nobody really is like webtoons. Their audience is mostly just women, right? And unless you are tapped into like where your audience really consumes the media that they like, they're probably not going to be on webtoons. They're probably not going to be on like Global Comics, because we talked about this before. The reason why it's like I feel like there's an overlap of people who don't really want to look at indie comics, just the same way if people don't really care about. I don't think there's a problem with like people just don't care. Like when we talked earlier, we talked about the blackout thing, right? I don't think it's a problem of people not caring about black protagonists. It's more of a thing people just don't care about what they're not familiar with. So it is what it is. I don't like Global Comics isn't bad. I don't think Nami Kami isn't bad. I don't think Tapaz is bad. I don't think any of these things are bad. But I think if you want to take things seriously, you wouldn't really go there, because if you want to make money off of Global Comics, it feels like there's that barrier of people not being familiar with the website, to the point where if I were an average person, right, I would say I don't want to buy off of Global Comics. I don't want to put in my card information from Global Comics. Tapaz is mostly female too, yeah. I'm just flexing my knowledge. But people will most likely say I don't really want to put my information to these guys. I don't know who they are. They would be more comfortable giving it to like Amazon or like eBay or whatever. I know eBay's like a weird thing, far out thing, but I just use that as an example to say, yeah, people like what is familiar to them. That's just how people are. That's just how humans work. Like, does that mean stopping? Don't post on them? No, go ahead and post on them if you have the energy to do so, but don't expect anything from it at the same time. Posting is one thing. Marketing and getting people interested to like go out of their way and read it is another thing entirely, right? I mean, that's why I do these live streams. You probably wouldn't have read Let's Go Metal Hero. I don't know if you've read Let's Go Metal Hero, but I don't think, like, actually, let me just say this. A lot of people wouldn't read Let's Go Metal Hero or any of my comics if it wasn't for my YouTube channel or me just promoting it, like, day in and day out, with the YouTube posts and whatnot, or posting it on, posting around different aspects of the internet. It would make, for me, I wouldn't really use those websites because I feel like Reddit does it better. Facebook does it better. Like Facebook does webtoon. Like Facebook does webtoons a lot better. And when you have enough engagement on Facebook, you can get paid to post on Facebook, right? Like Reddit does it a lot better because if you want to post it on Reddit, you have an audience there, and you are free to post links to whatever you want within the comment section or within the post itself. And you're not like beholden to one subreddit. You're beholden to any subreddit that is related to whatever you want to do. Like I was just finishing reading an email that someone sent to me saying that they really liked the Chimera Island comic that I posted on Reddit like years ago. And I'm like, and when I read that, I was like, okay, I might be going back on Reddit. I might be going back on going back on Facebook is pretty good. Facebook is good. Reddit is good. Webtoons top has like freaking Global Comics. I'm like, or Nami Comics, they're fine. They're focused, but that's not where the people are. And like if you want to go with like sure Webtoons or Taphouse, yeah, their people are there, but like is your audience people like you, your audience there? Sure, it might be, but are the systems there for you to grow? No, not really. The systems aren't really there for you to grow on Webtoons. The system isn't really there for you to grow on Taphaz or Global Comics. The system is there for, they try their best. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they try their best to get more people interested in reading more indie comics, but the problem with that is that's just not human nature. That's not, like, reading something new is just not human nature. True. Without your stream, I wouldn't have read Let's Go Metal Hero. I got interested in your personality first, and they're like, oh, his way of thinking is interesting. Let me read his work. Yeah. That's why I do these streams. That's the, like I said, like, if only one actually, this, oh my gosh. Let me finish my thought. Like I said earlier in the stream, or like days ago, I said if only one person is active in the stream, I will be here for that one person. If I know that person is going to show up in the stream, I will sit here, stream as long as I can, 3 hours max, for that one person if they are active in the stream. I'm appreciative of UG4 and Ulamai, F in the chat. He's not in the chat right now, unfortunately. It's like, if you're here, then if I know you're going to be here, or if I stream and you show up, then I'll be here. Because at the end of the day, I want that interactivity. I want that connection. And it goes back to when that guy sent me the email saying, like, oh, are you still working on Chimera Island, or is it canceled because I really like it? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on Chimera Island again. You know? I do have a Chimera Island book. Yeah, wait. Did I send it to you, or did you buy it off of Amazon? Yeah, so, what else? But yeah, that person saying, like, yo, let me, like, I really liked your, oh my gosh. There's another guy that hit me up on, Reddit, and he bought off. Nice, thank you, I appreciate it. There's another guy off of, wait, let me know, how, did you buy the chapter 0+1, or did you just buy chapter 0? Because I updated the book to include chapter 1 with the bonus content that I want to include in all the other books. But anyway, that's another thing. But let's see, let me think. Yeah, there was another guy that hit me up on Reddit saying, yo, I remember you from the first chapter of Yes the Reaper, and he wanted to follow up to see if I finished the book. And I was like, yeah, I actually did finish the book. You can read it up in here or buy it over here. It's like, it's up in the air. But yeah, like, people taking time out of their day to interact with me, that's something that people who buy the book physically, they don't even do. People who I talk to on the street, they say, I like you, I'm willing to buy this book because I like your personality, and they don't really follow up. That's I'm not putting any shade to them, right? Because they did their job of the social interaction. They wanted to support me, and they knew the closest way to support me, and that is to buy the book, right? And I'm like, thank you. That is the equivalent exchange that I am happy with, right? But people on the internet, they may or may not buy the book. However, like, being on this stream, I'm able to provide content to them. I'm able to provide, like, my knowledge, my interaction, a lot of things, and that's an equal exchange that I like, you know, just going out of your way of saying, hey, I like your stuff. I'm like, dude, the fact that you do that, I'm willing to walk through a desert full of glass just so I can find more ways of, like, reaching people like that. It may not be, it may be only me, but I do feel like you are slowly building a fan base. Did you have much chatter a year ago? Um, I remember when I was super crazy about posting, uh, shorts. There were old regulars that I'm sure they don't follow me anymore. I do remember their names. One was Christmas Bush, and another one was dude, I forgot her other name. That's crazy. I forgot her other name. That's crazy. But I remember when I was like doing I think I remember Christmas Bush a lot more because she actually went out of her way to post on my website. Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading what Lamai said. I got distracted. Um, but I was saying, yeah, there were a couple regulars, but when I stopped streaming, they didn't come back, and I noticed they unsubscribed and like da 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 da. But I noticed when I was like doing the shorts, it attracted an audience that that was just not my that just wasn't my target demographic. Looks like chapter one. It looks like the rabbit, Mistress is listening, a John. There are sketches in back. But do you have like the if you just see the sketches in the back and not the thumbnails, then you have chapter 0, and not chapter 0 plus 1. Wait, chapter 0 plus 1 looks like, well, yeah, actually just if you just have a landscape for the cover, then it's actually no, you wouldn't know if it was chapter 0 plus 1. Then you just have chapter 0. I appreciate it. Like I updated chapter 0 plus 1 because it's been a while since there was an update, and I wanted to experiment with the covers, like comic covers, in coloring. But yeah, I noticed the more that I posted on like shorts, I was getting an audience that just kind of, I didn't really feel like it meshed well. Which honestly, it's so interesting. I watch a lot of things on like people on YouTube, and the people that I watch on YouTube, they tend to have like 90% male audience. So I assumed that my audience would be the exact same way. Like the more that I would go live, there are tigers on the cover. Yeah, you have chapter 0. Yes, yeah, you have chapter 0. So anyway, I consume a lot of male-centered content on YouTube, so I would assume the content that I would make would be male-centered. So when I look at my YouTube analytics, I notice that my audience is like 30% female, and I'm like, why? And I guess it would make more sense if maybe the way you draw attracts females. I really want to tap into that when it came to Chimera Island, because Chimera Island was something that I made for a female audience, because I wanted to challenge myself. I feel like what would I make if I wanted to make something for the female audience? But the more that I think about Chimera Island, the more I just want to do things that I find cool, and that's like tailored to a male audience. No, actually. I tend to have a large female audience when it comes to Purgatory Academy. Actually, the female audience is actually here for Purgatory. Like, usually when there's a female audience that shows up, they show up for Purgatory Academy. They show up. They like that. That's the one thing that I notice. Because I remember years ago when I was like doing the backpack vending in a at a Comic Con in my downtown area, right? Yes, like those 3 question marks, I felt the exact same way, right? Female, like women, they're like Chimera Island. Yeah, that's nice if they aren't really interested in like the Heaven Hell or whatever. But like when they read Purgatory Academy, they're like, I love this. I'm like, why? It's not for women. Like, it's like like it's not for women, but it's also not like women can't read it. Like, but women are like, I love it. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. Just know. Like, oh man, that was always the funniest thing because I remember when I was at like a like, oh yeah, I forgot to finish the story, or the event that happened in my life. But I was like selling backpack vending, and I was like I was going around with ask me about my comics thing shtick that I usually do, and I remember I was talking to this one guy. We were like chopping it up about video games. Yo, if you want to ever have like a 5-hour conversation with me, just talk to me about video games because I can like talk your ear off about that. Honestly, I feel like if I had the opportunity, I would just I would love to be a freaking game designer. Like, if I don't want to be like an indie game designer, I want to be like working with like AA, like I guess what we would call it today would be AA, right? AA studios to like design like video games. Like ideally for my comics, because I do have some pretty cool ideas that would translate. I have like I have two video game ideas for Purgatory Academy, but like, and like I can just do a lot of things that I like about the video game media. Because like when I'm not streaming or working on art, I'm playing video games. Like it just is what it is. But other than that, I was doing the ask me about my comics, and I was talking to a guy about video games, and then there was like two girls. They were walking by me, and they saw the sign. They're like, ask me about my comics, and that was like me. When someone says that, I'm like, all right, time for the pitch mode. I pulled out my card. I gave them the rundown of all the 4 comics that I had, and they're like, oh yeah, they're like, oh my god, you're Mason McKay. Like, I know who you are, and I'm like, you know who I am? Like, they're like, it was like the first time they're like, dude, I know who you are. My friend met you, and my friend told me about Purgatory Academy, and we had a Discord server where we just talk about theories about Purgatory Academy together. And I'm like, what? And they were like, they're telling me about the small fandom that they created for Purgatory Academy, like the inclusive fandom of Purgatory Academy, of like her friend, and like her other friend, that all were just like, yo, I just found out about this thing, and like, like, I don't know if it was like her friend met me, or her friend found my thing online, and it was just by happenstance where she like didn't know that I was the creator of Purgatory Academy until I gave her my card, and she was like, yo, you are the guy, you're the guy. It was like Spy Kids 3D where it's like, you're the guy, and I'm like, I am the guy. Oh man, that was such a, oh my gosh, it's like stuff like that I absolutely, it's moments like that I absolutely adore, you know what I mean? Like, it really makes me want to go out and do that kind of stuff more, but it's just so darn expensive. Like, yo, if people were just like donate, if I was monetized on YouTube, if YouTube gave me love and like a bunch of people came into the stream and started donating, I would go out to like conventions more often. I would like, okay, of course I'll make sure that like I'm set paying for rent and all that stuff, but I would go out to conventions and just like not even have my own booth, just walking around with people being like, yo, hey guys, it'll be like, hey, what's going on? And then people are like, you're the guy, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I am the guy, let's talk, you get to talk to me and not behind like a booth, you know? Because I like that a lot. I like going around with the normies, talking with around the normies, talking with the civvies, the normies, the civvies. It's all fun. I like it a lot, but it's expensive. Okay, Lamai says the reason why women like Purgatory Academy, probably school, guys, drama, my guess. Probably, most likely. I see you as the CEO and main designer of a small indie game studio group. Yeah, I would absolutely love doing that. Like, cause the games that I want to make games that are so reminiscent. I don't want to emulate like the I don't want to emulate like that 2004 or like PlayStation 2 PSX style, because like that's one thing I don't like about like indie games that much. Like they do think like sometimes like I don't like when they do things when they just try to emulate a certain vibe of an era of games. Like I get why a lot of people want to do pixel art. I get why a lot of people want to do like cheap PlayStation 1 or style graphics. I get like all of that, right? But I don't. It's like stuff like that doesn't make me feel like we're pushing the medium like forward. Like when like there was a time where it just felt like games were being pushed forward of understanding like what we can do as a medium. I think a lot of games from like the PlayStation X or PlayStation 2 were there was a lot of room to experiment what people can do with the medium. And that's why I love that era so much. Even like I would say honestly I would just say like 90s to early 2000s were probably like the golden like 90s mid 2000s were like golden era of video games, because it was that era of like people trying to push or trying to figure out what they can do with the medium. And now everything is just stagnant. Everybody wants to go through like I remember I saw like this one video. I think it was like a Peeps video. He was talking about how like the like horse testicles ruined video games, and the thing which was like top tier clickbait. I love that so much. But his point was everybody wants to go for elements in video games that doesn't change the quality of it. Like what he was talking about was the gimmick where the Red Dead Redemption 2 gimmick where the testicles of the horse, they would shrink or expand depending on the weather of the environment. Or if you looked at a person eating like soup, like the broth of the soup would diminish, get smaller and smaller, like the more the person would eat it. Right, like the animations, like all of these little attention to details that doesn't aid gameplay whatsoever. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of AAA gaming has went to that like low common denominator marketing, to think that is what make games a medium worth investing your time and energy and fully developing. You know what I mean? And it sucks. It is garbage. Like I don't want to make I don't want to make indie games. I want to make games that want to explore what we can do with the medium again. I want games to be like fun first. I love it when games are just fun first. Can they be great stories? Absolutely. But if you want a good story, read a book. read a book. Watch a movie. And those mediums are able to excel with the story, like written, using the written words to make a narrative, as TV are able to use the visuals as to string together a narrative. Like very early on TV, like people just didn't have like dialogue. They just had a lot of. I'm pretty sure they just had a lot of movement. They had to appeal to the base understanding of human communication to get their point across, and I think that's pretty cool. Like I'm not one of those guys that say video games are the pinnacle of of art. No, it's not. It's just another aspect. It's just another aspect of it, which is really cool. I think it's. I don't know. I don't. I wouldn't. I was gonna say we're in an era of video games, of AAA video games, that really wants to be movies. And I think it's like that because the people that work on video games, they don't want to work on video games. It's very. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something very similar going on to how people are reacting to how people are when it comes not reacting to. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something similar to how developers or producers are with cartoons. Because I remember hearing like one of the behind the scenes things where I think it was Peter Chung. I think it was like a Rebel Taxi podcast interview with Peter Chung, where he's probably said something along the lines of nobody wants to make animation. Everybody wants to make live action. Animation is just a step ladder to live action stuff. What happened? Are you talking about what happened to the creator of the Boondocks? You talking about Aaron McGruder? I think he's still making things, but he's just out of the public eye. Like I know he's been wanting to make like Boondocks related medium. Like I know a while ago he wanted to make a video game, but that fell through. I know he wanted to make well, Aaron McGruder. What is Aaron McGruder doing recently? I know he was in the. I know he's like in a. He's working on writing for a movie. Like that was pretty. Black America, no. Oh yeah, I guess he's just stuck in things that Packer denied project response. The Confederate was already. Oh man, that's like 10 years ago. Like the most recent thing on his Wikipedia is it goes back to 2017. It was announced that Magruder, alongside producer Will Packer, would develop a series for Amazon Video called Black America, set in alternative history wherein emancipated Black Americans received 3 southern states as reparations for slavery, and from an American and form an independent nation. The series announcement was seen by some commentators as a response to HBO's then in development alternative history series Confederate, whose plot entails a history wherein the Confederacy won the American Civil War. That series was ultimately never developed, with its cancellation confirmed in January 2020. Packer denied the project as a response to Confederate and was already in development when the series was announced. Okay. That's the most recent thing on his Wikipedia. I thought I heard something that was way more recent. Thought that I saw something that was way more recent. I know. I gotta look back at the chat when I was talking to Matt. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I knew we had a conversation about it. I think I found it. Did you stop clipping on Instagram? I didn't stop clipping. I'm trying to think. I was low key rethinking my clipping strategy because I was looking up online of like what's the best practice to clip, what's the best practice to upload on Instagram, and like several sources says the best practice to for Instagram is like 2 to 3 posts per week. And here I am posting like 10 times a day, like every day or every other day. And I'm like, I don't know, maybe I should dial it back. Also, you pay attention to my clips on IG. Also, feel free to steal my clips on IG and post it on TikTok or whatever. Feel free to just steal my clips, please. Like go on YouTube, like go on like the YouTube downloader, go on like the Instagram downloader. If you like a specific clip, please feel free to steal the clips and upload it on your own page or whatever. You have my full permission. All right, so let's see. Written by Ice Cube and Aaron McGruder, creator of the Boondocks. Plot will deal with Craig and Day Day dealing with the gentrification of the neighborhood. Spring 2017. Oh, last Friday. Yeah, okay. Aaron McGruder is still making things. I guess he's working on Last Friday with Ice Cube. That was the most recent thing. Why wasn't that on the Wikipedia? Come on now. Come on, Wikipedia. Come on now. Dang, SMA. Well, I can't really. Well, I guess I can't really be that mad because Aaron is not a public person. It makes sense. He's not a public person. Yeah, I am pro thievery of my own clips. Feel free to like post my clips everywhere. If you like a certain clip, post it on your own page. Steal it. Post it everywhere. But yeah, so going back to the Aaron McGruder thing, maybe, hopefully, if everything turns out well, we'll see more Aaron McGruder work within Last Friday, with him working with Ice Cube. But honestly, it seems like Carl Jones is doing way more in the public eye, trying to use his work on the Boondocks to launch his own production company, Martian Blueberry. And his production company, I saw what he was able to do last week when I went to DreamCon. I met him, which is like pretty cool. Yeah, it seems like Carl Jones he's really trying to do his own thing. Yeah. He's really trying to do his own thing. And like he's just trying to do more when it comes to the culture. That's something that he really wants to be tapped into, and I highly respect that. Let's see, would you call it just a liar, or we all lie sometimes? Okay, yeah. Where was it? Okay, full color. I was thinking about what I was doing while I was talking, and that is a recipe for disaster. Honestly, when I stop streaming, I should really try to like settle down and listen to audiobooks. There's no way I'm gonna read, like, because I don't have any. Well, I do have some physical books, but I want to listen to some audiobooks. Because I had a weird kick of book recommendations. That made me want to hit up LibriVox again to download old classics. So I would like listen to that while I play Prince of Persia or JRPGs. The random JRPG that catches my attention. It's almost 3 hours. Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is. 3 hours worth of content that hopefully I will be able to clip and use for something. I will be able to post on Instagram and on YouTube. Also, I am really happy that YouTube takes the whack aspect ratio. They accept the whack aspect ratio that Instagram has so that I can post on my on Shorts. By every metrics, YouTube Shorts, they push it to more people on average than Instagram. Wait, let me check. I might be wrong about that. Let me check Instagram again. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm seeing like 50 on the low end. Yeah, 45 on the low end, 140 on the high end. Like 140 in the high end. Yeah. And when I look at like YouTube, I kind of see like 9 on the low end, but like 200 on the high end. YouTube really has high highs and low lows. But the general highs of YouTube is like 1,000. Man, that Air July video made me think maybe I need to focus on getting a finished product and delete all unnecessary social media for the time being. That's not a bad idea. But where you are specifically, I would focus on doing something that I'm doing right now, and that's documenting the experience of making that comic. Wait, what are you saying? Your product, not comic. Your product. Focus on the documenting the making of your product, because that's content that you can post on the internet to get people interested. Just like what I'm doing with these like live streams. I'm live streaming myself working on the comic. Even though I'm doing this mostly because having people in the chat, it helps me like find things to talk about, to clip about, and I can share it with like Instagram or YouTube or whatever. By that end, I have no idea how like successful that's gonna be, right? But I will say, having a finished product should be like the main priority. But also be mindful of documenting it. Eric July can do whatever he can do because he's already set. He already has that built-in audience that will just buy. That they would buy Eric July soap probably, right? But making the content, putting out pieces of your product, like teasers of your product, on like Reddit, Facebook groups, which is basically like forums on Facebook. I wouldn't even say like Twitter necessarily, because Twitter's like no. I wouldn't recommend that. But I will say my best experiences came from like Facebook and Reddit. Like ignore the other stuff. For me personally. So yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah, but having that finished product is really good to show people that you can finish a product. Oh, one person's watching on Kick. I didn't know that. I was like, where's that second person coming from? But probably it's coming from Kick. That's cool. Hello, single person from Kick. But yeah. But yeah, finished product. In documenting that product, you'll be fine. Like if you have a finished, like let me tell you, like once you have a finished product, people will just look at you. What will you do after the stream? After the stream, oh my god, dude, I gotta clean up my kitchen and I gotta make smothered chicken. I have to make the smothered chicken tonight because the chicken is thawed. I have the ingredients. I just have to sit down and make it. And I'll have like a bowl over. I'll just like have smothered chicken and rice. But I just have to sit down and make it. I have to be dead ass serious this time. Tonight. And that meal is gonna be gone in like 3 days. Before that meal's gonna be gone in like 3 days. I already know. I already know. Last time I made it, it was amazing, immaculate, perfect. That was I gotta find that recipe again because that was perfect. Especially when you have like the leftover chicken, and you shred it, and then you like put it, and you like put the shredded chicken inside a new batch of rice, and then the juices of the chicken get into the rice, so you have like this nice fatty rice with like vegetables and chicken cooked in like chicken broth. Dude, it's immaculate. The best freaking rice I've ever had, bro. I'm telling you. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do after the stream. And after that, I'm probably just gonna probably chat with Levy, or listen to audiobooks while playing Prince of Persia, or JRPG. Anyway, that's the stream. That's 3 hours. Y'all take care. Peace.